In 1823, James Fenimore Cooper wrote The Pioneers, highlighting a fictional Northeast American town named Templeton, the surrounding wilderness, and the Indian tribes and cultures associated with them. Templeton was modeled after the real town where Cooper grew up. Contrary to popular belief, it was not named after him. That distinction goes to his father, William Cooper, a merchant and land developer whose rise to power included stints as county judge and congressman. Located in Otsego County, just 73 miles west from New York State's capital, Albany, this is a low-key place most of the time, save for the end of summer. That's when thousands flock to celebrate the newly inducted members of baseball's elite. The Hall of Fame ceremony emanates near a famous museum, whose unofficial name is just the town where it resides. Most know what you mean when stating, "I'm going to Cooperstown." I'll do you one better than that. Here I am in Cooperstown. It's a brisk October morning, and though we're not falling back with the time change just yet, it will get dark earlier than I'd like. This is Main Street, home of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Adjacent to it is the Library and Giamatti Research Center. Hopefully, this is where all the answers to questions I have will be found. Of course, we have to take a quick spin around the hallowed halls first. Bronze plaques keep every inductee's name alive, including some favorites and friends of this channel. Tours are recommended to start with items of the newest inductees, and then jump back to the game's beginning. Milestones and records are covered, and mentions of women's, Latin American, and Negro leagues are prominent. New to the museum are spaces designated for Savannah Bananas, Johnny Bench artifacts, and Yakyu. Sportflix has nothing on this lenticular Otani. Guests can make their own card with different colored stamp machines located around the Japanese exhibit. There's so much to digest, and knowing these are the actual pieces of history makes one stop and appreciate a bit more. The exhibit I remember most from my first trip here is this display showing all of the Splendid Splinters batting averages within an official strike zone. Look at all these high marks. Way to go, Ted. The hall also takes the time to mention modern changes to the game, and a few darker moments that some are still not proud of, like the 1994 strike. Memorable moments can be viewed with a quick tap on several interactive video walls. Let's relive the last out of Roy Halladay's perfect game. This corner definitely changed through the years, as visitors can browse through trading cards in chronological order. It is strange to see a box of 1991 Donruss in a museum case. The big boys are kept safe and free from as much light as possible. Yes, even the oddballs make the museum cut. Look who's excited we're here. I mean, look at all of them. Modern players and recent historic moments are stored in these lockers, one for each franchise. Cardinals jerseys, Halladay's perfect game ball, how coincidental, and John Adams' drum from Municipal Stadium. I could just live here. Here's a baseball from one of the games that Abner Doubleday invented. Down the street is the field where baseball was born and first played. See, the birthplace of baseball. Okay, if you want to believe that. Now we have to get serious about studying. Shh. I'm searching for information that will aid in an upcoming 3000 Hit Club video. These microfilm reels set aside for me contain articles and box scores going back to the 1880s. It's recommended you call the center ahead of a planned visit so the team can find documents that they feel might help your cause. That trivia video will be uploaded soon, including all the findings from my research center trip. In the meantime, I'd like to thank the entire staff for their knowledge and due diligence procuring the source material requested ahead of my arrival. Now back to more exhibits. The hall recommends giving yourself 2 to 3 hours to explore what's on display. Honestly, you need 2 to 3 days to immerse yourself in the history of the game and be inspired by the way, even through all the changes, it has remained timeless. Only 3% of artifacts in possession are shown to the public on a daily basis. Certain permanent displays are rotated every 5 years or so. Those that were here for me to learn more about on my second day included awards, game-used items, and autographs of so many greats. Ty Cobb, Richie Ashburn, Mickey Cochran, Hank Greenberg, the list goes on. Back to the Hall of Fame gallery, I give credit to RJ for this idea. It didn't take long to find my main man and grab a shot. My studies are done, but I'm staying a bit longer to explore all the sights of this fabled community. Though William Cooper used his prestigious standing in societal circles to establish a hamlet, this area was not uncharted territory. Prior to his discovery, Indians, white hunter-squatters, and speculators dwelled here. The founder's vision for a new village was realized in the year 1786. My stay emanated from the Tunnicliffe Inn, formerly the American Hotel, which was built in 1802. It is one of the oldest brick structures in town. Within walking distance are other locations, collectively named the Cooperstown Historical District, named to the National Register of Historic Places in 1980. They include: the year was 1939, and the first 4 Baseball Hall of Fame classes gathered to officially be awarded as legends. The event was attended by 11 inductees. This marker recognizes the agricultural boom thanks to farmers who grew and supplied hops, maple sugar, dairy products, and fruit. An 1852 article from the Freeman's Journal highlighting the town's good fortune is quoted. The oldest building in town, originally a blacksmith shop, is now an art and clay studio. In February of 1855, Susan B. Anthony met here with residents, forming a committee to advocate for women's voting rights. Another oldest in-town designation belongs to this First Presbyterian Church. Though the physical structure was built in 1818, it is the third to be erected on the property. Originally the private residence of William Cooper, his wife Elizabeth, and their son James, Otsego Hall was built between 1796 and 1799. Vacated after the senior's death, it was remodeled by his son and stood until consumed by fire in the mid-1850s. James' daughters Susan and Charlotte built Byberry Cottage from salvaged pieces of the hall. The grounds are now part of Cooper Park. Just north of the village is Otsego Lake, the largest in the county. Its name, derived from the Iroquois Indians who inhabited the area, means place of the rock in Mohawk. Council Rock, a glacial deposit peeking out from the water at the park in its name, is marked as the meeting place between tribes prior to the Revolutionary War. The arrow at ground's entrance points true north. Locals were quick to point out how low the water had dropped. This marker honors soldiers from Otsego County who served in the Civil War. The county courthouse sits behind. Another veterans memorial, this one for those involved in World War conflicts, is just 1 block north on Pine Boulevard. The Hyde Hall Covered Bridge is the oldest standing covered bridge in the United States. Built in 1825, the 53-foot-long span was registered on the National Historic Places list in 1998. As for the card shops in town, oh, say it ain't so, Joe. Actually, they were all overpriced and there was hardly any vintage to be found. Still, some thought-out displays were fun to look at. Overall, Cooperstown is a quiet community that thrives aside from the museum. Though this time of year is considered off-season, there is plenty activity from locals, including new art exhibits located in the town library. The downside is that businesses close at 5 and restaurants and breweries close between 9 and 10. Okay, back home at the ranch here in New Jersey, a couple of housekeeping notes. First, I'd like to apologize for the amount of glare and or reflection shown in the B-roll. A lot of the items were kept in low light, and perhaps that was done on purpose to preserve some of those items, or maybe it's just a tease to get your butt over to Cooperstown and check it out for yourselves. It's totally worth the trip. Speaking of my trip, it was done in October, as mentioned earlier. It seemed to be a good month to go. Not a lot of the tourists or the families with kids, everyone's back to school, back to work. Really good weather and a lot to learn about the community as well as the baseball hall and history itself. New construction is underway at the space to the right of the museum entrance, which I purposely avoided showing in the main portion. This is where the memorabilia shop will move, and it's going to leave room for more exhibit space. They're expecting a finished project by May of 2026. And by the way, don't get sucked into that gift shop tourist trap. You can actually find better deals on the same apparel and collectibles just by going to their website. I didn't walk away empty-handed from my adventures, along with the museum guide that every guest receives upon arriving at the hall. The research center allowed 1 baseball card per guest. Now, there weren't that many big-time stars to choose from, so this Paul Konerko Topps HD was the best I could do. Thick card, nice looking card. The hall also printed the top 9 artifacts currently displayed from each franchise. So naturally, if Robin Yount is mentioned, this is going to go right into the PC. Down the street at the distillery, nightly tastings of some heavy rum, vodka, and whiskey put a burning hole in my chest. We're talking 130 proof, and a few ad cards with baseball themes in my pocket. Here's my Yaku stamped card with the registration a bit off, or maybe it's meant to be that way. After 2 decades, I hadn't heard this one. It seems about right. Sorry, Ted. Included in this trip was a very yellow bed and breakfast, and no bear sightings. but it is helpful to be warned.